Welcome to Your Gov Nonpart, Political Science and Government for Everyone. In this installment, we'd like to talk about the Congressional Leadership. Now, many people think that the Congress gets together and enacts bills simply by putting them out on the floor, debating them, and then voting on them. That's not true. The fact of the matter is that both houses of Congress and both parties within each house have a very structured leadership, much as the way as any company has an organizational chart that flows from the top down. And this helps to maintain a certain level of balance within the organization and an even flow of information. Now, so you're going to learn some terms and vocabulary which have very subtle differences between the Senate and the House of Representatives. And this is important because you're going to hear these terms and you don't want to become confused about which house we're talking about. You can see here the Senate and the House of Representatives have a very similarly structured leadership organization. The differences largely are in how they are referred to in speaking with them. The Senate, headed by the Vice President of the United States acting as the President of the Senate under the Constitution, and the Majority Leader and the Minority Leader, who are in fact referred to simply as the Majority Leader or the Minority Leader. And then a series of other elected offices. All these offices within the Senate are elected offices. They're elected by the members of the Senate to carry out the particular duties such as the parliamentarian. In the House of Representatives, however, we have a slightly different parlance in where the Majority Leader and the Minority Leader are referred to as the Democratic Leader or the Republican Leader, and it's understood which is which, whether they are the Majority or Minority Leader. It's also important to notice that many of the offices in the House, on the right-hand column here, are either elected or appointed. Here, the parliamentarian is actually appointed. Now, the Vice President of the United States is, under the Constitution, the President of the Senate. He doesn't vote like a senator would vote unless there is a tie vote of 50-50, in which case he casts the deciding vote in the Senate. The President Pro Tem is, in fact, largely an honorific title. He is the senior ranking member in the respect that he has the most seniority within the Senate. He has the distinction, however, of being third in line of the presidential line of succession under the Presidential Succession Act of 1947. Beyond that, he carries out the normal duties of all other senators in voting on the floor of the Senate. After him is the Majority Leader of the Senate, simply referred to as the Majority Leader. The Majority Leader gives guidance and direction to his party and helps to maintain party unity and understanding of their objectives. His assistant is referred to as the Majority Whip. Now, the Whip is responsible for influencing members of his party to maintain party unity and to maintain cohesiveness within the party. We find the same sorts of titles within the minority, as the Minority Leader, who also, again, gives direction and guidance to the member of his party to maintain unity. And the Minority Whip, who is his assistant, and attempts to influence members of his party to vote along party lines, to maintain unity, and to try and maintain continuity. In the House of Representatives, the administrator of the House is the Speaker of the House of Representatives. He's elected by the whole House and operates in much the same way as the Vice President does in the Senate. The Majority Leader in the House, however, is simply referred to as the Republican Leader currently, or the Democratic Leader if they were in the majority, and his responsibilities, again, are to give guidance and direction to the members of his party. His assistant, the Majority Whip, generally again called the Democratic Whip or the Republican Party Whip, is responsible for trying to maintain party unity, to influence the members of his party to vote along party lines in order to press a particular agenda. He cannot, however, compel them to, because it is often necessary for members to break with the party in order to maintain their constituency. The Minority Leader, again, gives guidance and direction to the members of his party and is quite an influential member still within the organization. The minority whip, again, serves the function of trying to maintain party unity, of whipping votes, of trying to get them to maintain some sort of cohesive nature to the party platform. Now, this does not account for the many committees in both the House and the Senate that have their own leadership, chairmen and so on. These will be covered, hopefully, in subsequent videos as we have time to present them. We'd like to thank you for watching Your Gov Nonpart's video on the Congressional Leadership. We hope you'll pick subscribe above and join us. You can find us on Facebook. If you have questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. And as always, thank you for watching.